Hello everyone, welcome to the Two Whalleys. I'm Simon Whalley and the other Whalley is my dad, John. My dad's 85, I'm 45. My dad's living in Swansea in Wales. I'm living in Osaki Kamijima, an island in the Seto Sea in Japan. My dad reads the Daily Mirror, I read the Guardian. My dad's a massive meat eater, I'm a vegan. There's a lot of stuff we disagree on. There's a lot of stuff we agree on. Once a week, we get together on Zoom and we basically talk about all the world's problems and we have a good moan to each other. And sometimes it's quite funny. So we thought, why don't we record this and see if anyone else thinks it's funny too. Worst case scenario is we've got some nice memories that myself and my son can enjoy. So thanks for coming here. I hope you enjoy it, and please let us know what you think in the comments and share on social media. Thanks very much. Enjoy the episode. All right, Dad, how are you going?
Yeah, fine, thanks. And the family all right?
Everyone's good, Dad. Yeah.
Good.
Are you excited about your 86th birthday tomorrow?
Not really.
No. Oh, I mean, that's incredible, Dad. No, how do you feel? What an achievement, no? To get to 86.
Oh, I suppose so.
and to be in decent health enough so you can, have chats like this, Dad,
Yeah.
I don't think no one in your family got past 82, I don't think, did they?
Didn't they? Oh, I don't know.
Sure, yeah. Granddad and grandma, I think 82, and Mam's side as well, 82. So
Yeah.
Considering the amount of cigarettes you smoked and alcohol and that, I think you've done well, no?
Oh,
So I'm thinking, if I look after myself with the diet I'm on, the exercise I do, I should get past 90, Dad, easy. Happy days. All right, what do you want to chat about this week, Dad?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about these XL bully dogs. It's absolutely crazy. They should ban them. I mean, you can't keep on killing people and children like this. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what happened this time, Dad? What happened? What was it that was in the news that there was an attack?
Oh no, there's out of 18 people that's been killed in the last 2 years, 10 of them have been killed by XL bully dogs, right?
Yeah.
Now the breeding them and the owners they're getting frightened and they're putting them on the streets. They're roaming the streets. And listen to this in the paper. Ferocious ex-bully dogs are being dumped in the streets and in swamped rescue centres by scared owners who fear they'll end up being mauled. One dog's home, Vicky Phillips, called for the breeds to be banned by American rebuffs as American pit bulls were in 1991. I mean, if the dog's home are saying this and that, of course they should be banned.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah.
I mean, do they care more about the dogs or people? It's just been on the news this morning. Another one's been killed now. A 30-year-old has been killed in Litchfield. You can't have them dogs. They're fierce dogs, they're bred to be fair. They're bred to be killed. Them kind of dogs shouldn't be on the streets. I mean, this one there, he broke away from the lead and mauled this, but. I mean, they're that they break away from the lead. They're that fierce, them dogs. And in the dog's home, they're frightened. They kill all the other dogs. They're trying to kill them dogs. These poor dogs home. They've got them ex-bullies in there. They're frightened as well. No, they shouldn't be. They should be banned.
Yeah, I know. I get where you're coming from, Dad. I do. I was reading I thought it was the same article, and the RSPCA and lots of I think the what's it called in London, the Battersea Dogs Home. They were saying that they don't think they should be banned, Dad. That their point, and it's the point that I would take as well, is that it's not the breed, it's the owner.
Oh no! I'm not having that. I'm not having that at all. The interviewers, right? They interviewed one who owned an XL bully. And he said, "Oh, my dog is nice and calm. It's lovely, lovely. They're good with children, everything like that." So the interviewer said to him, "Right, would you leave your baby in the same room as an XL bully?" And he said, "No." He said, "Because I'm a careful owner." Now, to me, he's virtually saying, "No, I wouldn't leave him in that room because something could happen."
Yeah, no,
You know
and
what I mean?
I'm like, yeah, no, and I agree, Dad. I think if you've got a dog that you wouldn't leave alone with a baby, then that's a problem. I totally agree with that, Dad.
Yeah, well,
And
that's an owner of an XL bully said he wouldn't leave. No, he wouldn't leave the dog, but he said it's a calm, but he wouldn't leave the dog in the room with a baby. So
yeah,
they're dangerous dogs. If an owner says that, they're a dangerous dog.
what do you
They
think?
should be banned. They shouldn't be on our streets.
Yeah, I mean, I do get where you're coming from, Dad, and I honestly think, I've met pit bulls, Dad, who I think you would leave with kids. It's case by case, Dad. I think it's a judge. I think judge on the deed, not on the breed, right? I'll give you an example, Dad. Right? You know what a Jack Russell is, do you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Jack Russell's dad in the last what is it? Let me have a look on. I think Jack Russells have killed multiple people, Dad, babies. Now, no one would consider a Jack Russell to be dangerous, right? But if you bring up a dog and you beat them and you make them fierce, they will of course turn on people, Dad. But if you raise a dog and you treat them well and you show them love and compassion, I don't care what breed it is. I think the dogs in general are not going to attack humans, right? No,
Well,
I'm
no,
not.
there's one here now. Listen to this now. This is in the paper now. Let me just get my glasses. Right. I mean, right. He says he's selling an XL bully, right?
Hmm.
And he says his adverts for XL bullies, dogs, behaviour issues. Oh, he said he's got behaviour issues. Whose pet was on sale for £850. Said he can be vicious towards owners, and and he's trying to sell it. He's trying to sell it for £850.
Yeah. No, I think, and again, Dad, here's where we might disagree or we might agree. The problem with all of this, as far as I'm concerned, is breeding dogs, Dad. Full stop. We shouldn't be breeding dogs. Because here's the problem you're going to find, right, Dad? With the pit bull, when they banned it, all they did is bred dogs for a new breed of dog, right? And they will keep, just like when you make a drug, these synthetic drugs, once you make them illegal, they make a new synthetic drug, Dad. If you make this breed illegal, what they'll do, the breeders then, is they'll breed even more dangerous dogs, right? The problem of this is that the fact that people are breeding dogs to sell and make a profit, Dad, right? You shouldn't be making profit off of selling live animals, Dad, live beings, There's no need for
No,
it.
well, I mean, a lot of this was through COVID. Everybody wanted a dog, so they got that. Now they're all unwanted. I mean,
Yeah.
the dog
Oh,
home now, the dogs home are absolutely full, overflowing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
unwanted pets. Now, it's like that saying, a dog is not just for Christmas.
Yeah. Dogs for life. Dogs for life, not just for Christmas, yeah? Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of people got dogs because of COVID, like, and now they don't want them,
You won't hear a complaint from me on that, Dad. But what I'm saying is, like in San Francisco, they've banned the sale of all live animals, Dad, right? You can't make a profit from selling live beings. And I think that's the right way to go. If you want to go and get a dog, Dad, adopt a dog from the shelter. As you already alluded to, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of dogs that are euthanized, Dad, in the shelters because they can't look after them. People get dogs, they buy a dog, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I got this new dog, it's great." And then they realize, "Oh, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be." So they dump them at the shelter, Dad. Asshole.
But a lot of these ex-bullies, the buyer, then they realise that it's so vicious, they're just letting them roam the streets. They get rid of them, just letting them roam the streets.
Yeah,
No, that is saying, we don't want. No, we don't want these dogs on our streets, especially roaming the streets. We don't. No, no.
Oh no, I totally agree with you, Dad. I mean, if you've got a dog that's a dangerous dog that's been bred, not to, and then brought up to be or whatever, if it's a dangerous dog, it's like having a dangerous cat, a wild cat on the streets, right, Dad? You wouldn't do it, would you? You wouldn't have lions on the street, but then you also wouldn't be breeding lions and selling them, right? But that's what we're doing with dogs, isn't it? We're breeding them for those traits, Dad. You know, these unscrupulous breeders, and all breeders, in my eyes, are unscrupulous. They're doing it for one reason only, to profit. They're doing this.
Oh yeah, because in the COVID, all these dogs, they were breeding them just to sell them because they were getting good prices. I mean, for these, the ones that Danny's got, what's that dog that Danny's got?
I think they're
blue
Staffordshire Terriers, are they?
Yeah, blue staffs, right? Yeah. Well, no, in the COVID, they were getting £2,000 or £3,000 for them, so people were breeding them just to get the money.
Yeah, I know, and they don't care where they're sold to, Dad, as long as they get the money, right? And then you sell them to someone who might have mental health issues. They can't look after them. You should not be able to buy dogs, full stop, Dad. As far as I'm concerned, you know, in a vegan world, that would, you know, you can't buy and sell animals, Dad. It's not. Well, no,
because you can get a nice dog if you go to a home for dogs. You can get a nice dog in there.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. That's all vegans are saying is like, don't buy, go to adopt a dog, right? Adopt, don't adopt that, and it saves you money. You're helping out the shelter, and you're helping out. You're stopping a dog being killed. Every time you go to a shop to buy a dog, you're literally killing dogs in shelters, right? Every time someone chooses not to adopt, you know,
because these XL bullets, they're honestly, if they jump at you, they knock you over just like that. They're so powerful. They should, no, they should be banned. I definitely ban them. Definitely ban them.
Well, I mean, I'm saying ban. You're saying ban the dog. I'm saying ban the practice of breeding dogs into existence to sell them for profit. It seems to me if you do that, you take care of all the problems, don't you?
Well, no, I completely ban them. I would, you know.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, though, Dad. I'm saying ban the sale of them. That does the same, doesn't it? But it also takes care of the ethical, problem of.
No, and I'd make it illegal. I'd make it illegal to own one of them kind of dogs. I would, yeah.
Well, no, but if it's illegal to buy and sell them, obviously, people are not going to have them, right? Unless they've been taken to a shelter, but that's only like one generation, Dad. Once they go to a shelter, then they usually they'll be they won't be they'll have an operation, right? They're not going to be able to have kids. So that deals with the problem, Dad. So as far as I'm concerned, the dogs are the victims, not the humans, right? Even if these dogs go on a rampage, they've been bred into existence to be like that. So if you had a child and then you brought that child up to be a killer, and then the child killed, you would say that child was a victim, Dad, right? The parents were the perpetrators, right? The victim is the child, even though he's
but the bred to be fierce. It's the killer dogs, like, you know.
I know, that's the point I'm making. If you're breeding a dog on purpose to be fierce and horrible, then that dog is a victim, Dad, right? That dog didn't want to be fierce. It's been bred to be that way by humans so they can make a profit. The dog is the victim here, right? Obviously, if a human gets bitten by that dog, they're a victim too. But the dog itself is a victim in the same way that a child that's abused, that goes on to be an abuser, is also a victim, right? Do you know what I
mean? Well, as far as I'm concerned, ban the dogs, and you shouldn't be able to have one of them dogs, you know?
Well, yeah, and I'm agreeing with what I'm saying is that, if you ban the sale of them, then that will take care of that as well, right? But the RSPCA says it's down to nurture, not nature, Dad. So I'm saying the same. It's basically down to the way that
you wouldn't say that if your child was killed by one of them bully dogs, would you?
Oh, I would, Dad, because I know that if you bring up a dog correctly, that dog is not going to go and kill a child. If a child, if a dog rips your
No,
fucking
I
child,
know, no, no. I think it's inbred. It's inbred into him. It's the fierce dogs, like, you know. No,
I'm making the same point, Dad. That they are fierce dogs, but they're inbred to be like that, right? They're bred to be like that, and so they
mm.
are victims, is what I'm saying. So stop them being victims by stopping it, making it illegal to actually sell them, Dad. And all dogs is what the only difference I'm saying. You think it's okay to buy and sell dogs as long as they're safe, Dad, right?
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but I didn't like the way the after COVID, where
Right.
all, where all the homes are absolutely overwhelmed by dogs now because they're not wanted. No,
Yeah, but it's not just COVID, Dad.
they only had them because they were lonely. Lonely in COVID.
I know, but it's not just COVID. You mentioned that campaign is like from the 1980s, right? That don't, yeah, dogs are for life, not Christmas. You know, people
Mm.
get dogs and then they realize they're a bit of a handful. You got to take them for walks. You got to look after them.
That's
You got
right.
to brush their teeth.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah,
not
yeah,
ready for it, right? So what I'm saying
yeah.
is ban all sale of dogs, and then you don't have that. You don't have shelters being overrun, Dad. You know, and then
Mm, mm.
eventually, yeah, there won't. Eventually, there won't be any dogs roaming around, Dad. Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's the only difference I have. But I think, yeah, adopt, don't shop. It'll deal with the problem, and of course, yeah, these people they shouldn't be able to breed dogs. That you should have to get a license, if at the very least, if it's not illegal,
Yeah.
you should have to get a
And
license.
if you want a dog, go to the home and get one. You get one for nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, so we agree on that, Dad. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right then. Good. Right. What's the next one?
Well, it's now it's shoplifting. This shoplifting, it's just getting out of control, isn't it? No, I
I've
mean
yeah,
they've,
yeah,
they've made it now. It's not. It's a minor offence now. It wasn't. The government have made it a minor offence. So if they get done for shoplifting, all they have to do don't have to go to court or anything like that. The
hmm,
sentence, the sentence a fine through the post.
yeah.
And the
Well,
brazen after there's a picture here in the paper. A bloke goes into a shop, gets 3 slabs of lager, tells the shop owner fuck off and that like, and just walks out with him. They're getting brazen.
yeah,
And they
yeah,
come back into the same shop again and do it again.
yeah.
Oh dear. Something's got to be done. I mean, how can you make it not a criminal offence? Like, a minor offence.
Well, I mean,
I
what they
mean,
did is, go on.
John Lewis lost £12 million. In shoplifting. It's gone through the roof. He said John Lewis. He said it's gone through the roof. You know.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, so what they did, Dad, was that they any goods that are stolen that less than £200, the maximum you can get, I think, is 6 months in jail, right? But usually you just get a postal fine of £70, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's over $200, then you can get 7 years maximum.
yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, they've made it a minor offence now, haven't they?
yeah, well, I mean, I
It's
think.
called a minor offence.
I think something like 87% of convenience store workers have been verbally abused by thieves, and there were 8 million incidents in a year, Dad.
Yeah,
339,206 cases with 42,218 charged. You're only charging what, like, I don't know, 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 or something like that, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
You
mean,
know, hmm,
if it was like they were starving, you can understand that a little bit. But I've seen this in the pubs. They come in the pubs, right? They come in the pubs. They're as fit as anything. These blokes and women, girls, they're as fit as anything, right? Selling stuff. Now that's probably from an addiction. Probably it's not from being hungry
no,
because
I
they're
think you're
smoking and
right.
everything. It's just probably an addiction, and they want to get off their ass and work because they're fit people.
Yeah,
There's plenty of jobs about. rather than go shoplifting, get a bloody job, like,
Yeah. I mean, again, I know where you're coming from, Dad. But I mean,
Well,
it's
I see it, in the pub I go to. I mean, they're fit people. It's not as though there's anything wrong with them. They're just, oh dear, no. No, they're lazy buggers. That's all.
yeah. I mean, but I think you were right before, Dad, because I've been in the pub and I've seen the people, and I would say probably they're either meth addicts or they're heroin addicts. That they're definitely on something, right? And I would, yeah, for me, rather than just call them lazy, I would look at like why are they taking drugs, Dad? Why are they in that situation? Because it's a horrible situation to be in, Dad, isn't it?
Mm, mm, mm.
But yeah, I mean, also, Dad, the cost of living crisis has got to play a part in this, isn't it? But I know,
No, yeah. But for the people I've seen, I mean, the coin the pubs and that's not for the cost of living. They're smoking and everything. They, they just do it because they don't want to fucking work.
yeah, but
The lazy buggers.
they probably stole those cigarettes, though, Dad, didn't they? So
It's
it's not like
probably, yeah,
it's not like they're playing whatever it is. Like, what is it now? Almost £10 a packet or something, is it?
yeah.
No, I mean, I think one thing I would say about this, Dad, is you get what leaders you have, Dad, don't you? Our leaders are robbing the country blind, right? So why do you expect, the electorate to not be robbing people as well? Lead by example, Dad, innit? If we could have Rishi Sunak and all the other politicians leading by example, possibly that might just trickle down to everyone else. The same as the economy does, Dad, innit?
And I think the frightened of giving them sentences because the prisons are overcrowded. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's prisons there where only 8,800 should be in, and there's 2,000.
Hmm.
I mean, they're bulging. The prisons. I think the frightened of giving them prison sentences because where to put them.
Well, yeah, and you've got to ask yourself, Dad, is it, because prison's supposed to be rehabilitating these people, and is it going to rehabilitate them? If it's not, then there's not really any point in putting them in prison, is there? It's just a waste of taxpayers' money. So, what you're better off, as I alluded to, is you're better off dealing with the addiction first, Dad, isn't it? Because that's an illness. They're obviously sick, and then as a consequence of their sickness, they're stealing to fund their addiction, right? So deal with that problem, because that's the heart of the problem, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I think drugs is the main problem with all these shoplifters. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would also say, obviously not the people but I would say, Dad, with those numbers, because they're going up quite starkly since the cost of living crisis and with inflation, Dad, God almighty, it's difficult enough for people who've got a full-time job to make ends meet, Dad,
Well,
So
no,
if you
shopkeepers are frightening. I've got a picture there of a shopkeeper tackling one, not going out of the shop. But
yeah.
it's like a woman, a shopkeeper, is trying to tackle him. Well,
I know,
they're
I
getting
saw that
brazen
video.
now. They're going into a shop, stealing them, and they're going back. And the owners have seen them, and they go back in the same shop and pinch again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, tell you what, though, Dad, I watched that video. I'll put it up here later. But thing is, though, Dad, I know you might disagree. If it was my own shop, of course I would do that. But if I'm working on a minimum wage in a shop, you're not going to catch me trying to rugby tackle someone. If someone comes in to rob the shop, I'll be like, mate, go for it. It's not my shop, mate. Do you know what I mean? I'm not risking my life, Dad, to stop someone nicking stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, you've got to see. You've got to have policemen on the beat again, haven't you?
Yeah, well, that's
You
another one.
know.
The Tories cut police numbers, didn't they? They are bringing
Yeah,
them back
yeah,
up now, Dad,
yeah.
but they did cut police numbers. I think they're bringing them back up a bit now. But yeah, you've got to have more police officers, Dad. Again, that's going to take
Yeah, well,
budget.
walking not in patrol cars and that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Walking the streets like it used to be,
Hobbies,
like.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely it's scary, Dad. If I was working in a shop, but as I'm saying, I ain't gonna go and try and get in the way of someone who could have a gun, who's on drugs or whatever. I'm not going to try and rugby tackle him. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't believe watching that video. The woman, she's like an old
But
woman, pushing him down
but
and stuff.
did you see that bloke there, though? That picture of the bloke? He's walking out with 3 slabs of lager.
Yeah.
Just walking out the door. And they know
let
it's
him go.
oh, dear. It's just, it's just
Is,
crazy, isn't it?
but it's all on CCTV, Dad, right? The police, if they wanted to, they can easily just look at the CCTV, but they won't, right? Unless there's more than £200 been robbed, they won't even look at the CCTV. They won't investigate, and that again, down is because of lack of police numbers, isn't it? So
Of course it is. Yeah.
rather than people on minimum wage rugby tackling people to stop them nicking, let them do it, and then use the CCTV to find out who they were, and then you can get it back quite easily, Dad. Can you find out what pub they go to?
The government just seems to be looking after themselves. I could mention 100 things, like potholes in the road, shoplifting. You can mention 100 different things, and like crumbling hospitals, crumbling schools. They don't. What on earth is the government? What are they doing? They've been in power for 13 years now. And all we've got now is problems all the time, isn't that?
Well, yeah, but you've just answered your own question, Dad, haven't you? And you said, "What are they doing?" That's what they're doing, Dad, because they're not interested in that, Dad. They're just interested in reducing the amount of spending and reducing people's taxes, right? So that the rich can get away. They make it sound as if they're doing it so the average person pays less taxes, but they don't. It's basically just the billionaires that get away with paying less taxes, and then they use that to pay the politicians.
And it's not just our country; all the countries. They're like Putin. All his mates have got million-pound yachts and million-pound homes. They look after themselves. They couldn't care less what's happening in the poor world. They just can't. They don't want to know, do they? They don't want to know. No.
Well, yeah, I mean they show where their priorities are, Dad, don't they? We all will, but we all know it. We all know where the priorities are. It'll be interesting to see, Dad, if we've got elections coming up in Britain next year. We've got.
Well, I hope Keir Starmer does. Oh, well, I'm just hoping he. Well, I mean, and he's not gonna sort it out after 1 year. If the Labour get in 1 year, the people are going to say, "Oh, what a load of bollocks this is. He's no good. He's not." It's going to take about 5 years to get us out of this mess, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, my God, I don't think you're going to get out of this mess, Dad. Honestly, I think this is the beginning of a long slide down into.
Oh no! I mean, look at all the hospitals that need new hospitals, all the new schools crumbling, things like that. I mean, this is going to take years and years, isn't it? Oh dear. And that's what the Conservatives have left the Labour to do.
Well, they do it every time
now because the Conservatives know they're going to lose the next election, so they're going to make it harder for the Labour, aren't they?
Yeah. But I mean, it's going to be interesting, though, Dad. It'll be interesting to, of course. I hope that the slightly less version of horrible gets in, which is Labour in Britain, and in America it would be Biden. Of course I do, Dad, but I'm also fully aware that neither of these two parties is going to do anything that's necessary to avoid the collapse of our ecosystems that's going on. I mean, you've seen this week again in Libya, Dad, with the insane flooding that's gone on there. We're looking at possibly 30,000 people dead. And Labour are not going to sort that out, and neither are the Democrats because they're in power now.
And they reckon they've been warned years ago. There was cracks in the dams.
Yep.
But see, that country's there's war in that country, and they thought after it was who was that Gaddafi.
Yeah.
I mean, oh dear. Yeah, after he left, I mean, his countries. Who runs the country now? Is that what's his name? Tall bloke, isn't it?
No, I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's run by anyone at the moment. It's run by different warlords in different regions. That it's collapsed. It's collapsed. That they're literally in Tripoli. They're selling people as slaves. Dad, they're selling Africans as slaves in markets. Dad, and all of that, Dad, is down to the British government and the American government, who who basically overthrew Gaddafi. Because Gaddafi wasn't a nice person, Dad wasn't a nice leader, but when he was in charge of Libya, Libya wasn't a failed state like it is now. The same as Iraq when Saddam Hussein was in. Not a nice person, Dad, but but Iraqis had food, they had water. They don't now. It's a failed state, Libya, and it's a failed state because of the intervention of America and Britain, Dad, and they've caused all of that. And now Libya, all the migrants from Africa, they leave from Libya, Dad. They're sold in markets. They find people smugglers in Libya. That wasn't happening when Gaddafi was there, Dad. But Blair and Bush overthrew him. They killed him in a. Well, they didn't, but they allowed for him to be killed in a ditch, Dad. A leader of a country.
Well, Putin's not a nice bloke. He's not a nice bloke, but they won't go in there because they're frightened.
Well, they got nuclear weapons, Dad. That's why countries get nuclear weapons in it. It's a deterrent.
Yeah.
And that's why Iran wants them. That's why North Korea has got them. It's if you don't want to be invaded by the bully boys, America and Britain, you better get yourself some nukes, Dad. It's serious. That's everyone's talking about nuclear proliferation, but that's for the large part. That's why they get them, isn't it? To avoid being overthrown by America and Britain. But yeah, those dams, Dad, getting back to those dams, right? One of the big problems is because of climate change, every 1 degree Celsius globally, on average, that it gets hotter, you've got about 7% more moisture in the air, Dad, right? So you're going to get huge storms. You get these massive deluges of rain. And the dams that were designed like 20, 30 years ago, or even today, in many cases, they're not designed for that kind of rainfall, Dad.
No.
So you're seeing like now you've got in India and Pakistan, you've got dams that are breaking and washing away villages downstream, Dad, and this is only going to increase now.
Yeah, but they could have warned. They said they could have warned them people and saved a lot of lives to evacuate the town.
But they didn't.
Because they had time to warn them. But he was running the country, like you said, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't think there's any one. There's not one coherent party that's in charge of that. It's just a bunch of warlords, a bunch of people are fighting each other. It seems like, isn't it? But honestly, there's nothing that Keir Starmer is not going to do that, from what I can see, Dad. And there's nothing Biden's going to do because he's had 4 years to do it. 3 years, he's not doing it. So whichever party we vote for, I don't think is going to answer the real questions and the real problems we've got. But
well, we've definitely got to get the Conservatives out. That's certainly.
Yeah. I think so, Dad. But then you've got to question things like the political system, the economic system. It's built to enrich the elites at the expense of the rest of us. And unless we focus on those kind of problems, and you can't get away with growth, Dad. Everything is about growth, and do we really need growth?
And growth.
I personally don't think I need any more money than I've got now. So certainly the elites don't need any more money, do they?
No.
So last funny kind of a story, Dad, was the I thought it was kind of interesting. The Iranian athlete that tried to run across the Atlantic Ocean in a giant hamster wheel.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That was crazy. And he only got 70. From Florida to London, he wanted to go, didn't he?
Yeah. But yeah, I thought 70 miles. I thought it was fair.
He got 70 miles. Yeah, but he's tried this 3 times now. He's tried it in 2014, 2011. He's tried it 3 times. And
this guy's persistent, Dad. Honestly, he's tried it 3 times.
He'd never get that. How many miles is that now? Is it 20?
Oh my God, I don't know.
50 miles. 5,000 miles.
Yeah, it's probably it must be about that, Dad. Yeah. I don't know. No, it wouldn't be 5,000. It's like a 5-hour flight, right? It'd be about, I don't know, 1,500 to 2,000 miles, maybe, is it?
It's crazy. I've seen a picture of it as well.
I know. The previous times he tried it, Dad, he had to go back because he forgot his GPS. It's like,
Oh,
Yeah, but the thing is,
yes.
they're doing him now, aren't they? They're fining him or something, aren't they?
Well, he's been banned from ever going on any ocean-going vessel ever again. Um, so, I thought honestly, Dad, I feel sorry for him a little bit because he's
Well,
obviously
no.
such a, you know,
Well, what I would have done, I'd let him know. I mean, it's cost that country now following him and things like that. Just let him go, and if he killed himself, he killed himself, didn't he?
yeah, that's what I think, Dad. Yeah, he should have signed a waiver saying, "Look, you can do it, but there's no way we're coming out to rescue you. If anything
That's
goes
right.
wrong,
Yeah,
you're on
yeah,
your own." And I would,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's taken away his freedom as far as I'm concerned, and you should be allowed to do it. But
yeah.
the thing is, there is a problem with that. He could be crossing like international shipping lanes, and he could cause an accident, right? So I think you'd have to make sure that his route is not going to be crossing any dangerous routes, shipping lanes. Make sure of that first. There are ways to do it, Dad, right? And he obviously didn't follow those steps. People sail around the world all the time, and the Coast Guard has your back when you do it, right? I think he didn't tell the Coast Guard, and then he threatened to blow himself up, didn't he? He said he had a
Oh,
bomb.
he said he had a bomb, and then
Yeah,
they
so
followed him for 2 days, and then he said he hasn't got a bomb,
yeah,
so he went on the boat with the Coast Guards, then, didn't he?
yeah. I mean, if he was a billionaire, Dad, he'd be allowed to do it, wouldn't he? But and he'd
Oh,
have people
probably, yeah,
rescued.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
like that. Yeah,
yeah,
like that
like
submarine when you were in
exactly.
the Titanic. Yeah,
Totally,
yeah,
it's like Richard Branson does it all the time with his balloons, doesn't he? And
yeah,
he's
yeah.
been rescued. Dad, he's been rescued in the middle of nowhere from those balloons, probably with taxpayers' money, I assume as well.
That's right.
But
Yeah, 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 yeah,
so
yeah.
let the poor guy do it, and let him film it. Give him some money. It'd be quite
Yeah,
interesting to watch, I think.
yeah.
But I do feel sorry for him that he's had his freedom taken away from him. He's obviously a very courageous man that wants to achieve things, and good on him, Dad, isn't it?
Yeah, because I don't think he could. I don't think he could do it. I don't think he would have done it though. Would
Oh, I
you?
mean, yeah. Oh, God knows that. If you hit a storm in the middle of the Atlantic, Dad, I don't know.
No,
I don't
I'm
know
one
what's
of
going to
them.
happen
I
to you.
mean, it shows you a picture of him in the paper. Oh, dear, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. They didn't look very watertight, Dad. Let's say that.
No, no,
You might
no.
you might drown inside it, but yeah,
Yeah.
be an interesting experiment for someone to try, Dad, isn't it? I just thought it was a funny guy
Yeah,
and thing to try. It was a kind of a interesting,
yeah.
but
They should have said to him, "Look, you can do it, but we're not. We're not. If you're in trouble, we're not saving you. As simple as that."
yeah, no, exactly. Well, I think we agreed on probably half, disagreed on a little bit, Dad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Well, we'll enjoy your birthday weekend, your 86th birthday weekend, Dad. Happy birthday! I will give you a call tomorrow and have a
Right.
chat with you on your birthday. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Dad, and we'll get on it again next week. Yeah.
Okay. All the best to the family, Simon. Okay.
Cheers, Dad. All right. Nice one,
Ta.
Dad.
Ta.
Ta, mate.